We continue the conversation around the energy crisis in the country, and with the country expected to face more of stage 6 power cuts this week, the Gauteng Department of Health says this has affected several facilities. Newzroom Afrika's Linda Mnisi is at the Far East Rand Regional Hospital. Linda, good morning to you. What's the situation where you are? How affected is that facility?
In fact, Xoli, they experienced outages on Saturday, which led to a number of challenges, and they'll be telling us about those challenges. But as you would know, that a number of hospitals, particularly in Gauteng, have generators that kick in immediately when they experience these power outages. Many of them are now, battling, given the fact that Eskom has, of course, implemented what is now known as stage 6, which is lengthier hours, which means then that these facilities would struggle for a number of hours. Behind me, Xoli, what you're seeing is a generator from this particular hospital. It kicks in immediately when there's power outages, but it supplies some of the critical aspects of this hospital. And joining me right now to speak about their challenges and what they experience is the CEO of the Far Eastern Regional Hospital, Sonwabo Lindani. Mr. Lindani, thank you so much for your time. I want us to talk about Saturday and what happened. Usually, as I said in my intro, what you would have is a generator kicking right in immediately to make sure that, of course, lives are saved and that work continues. In your case, what happened?
Good morning, Linda. Thank you very much for inviting us or for joining us in the hospital. What happened on Saturday, we had a power outage, which was resulting from a power station failure in the local area here, which led to our generator kicking in, which is what happens when there is no power. Generators are supposed to kick in when there is no power, but for a limited period of time. In this case, our generator was running for the whole night of Saturday up to Sunday morning around 9ish, where one of our generators ran out of diesel. We have actually 2 generators, but what is most important with this generator, this is the one that supplies our critical areas in the hospital, which is our ICU, our theaters, our casualty area, which led us to inviting the supplier of diesel to come and fill our tank of the generator. But I mean, if our generator is supposed to kick in for a limited period, which is about 3 to 6 hours. But in this case, it ran for the whole night of Saturday up to the morning of Sunday morning. Thanks.
Were you able to communicate with the municipality in terms of what exactly the problem was, given the fact that off air you were telling me how you have an arrangement with the municipality to at least not load shed the hospital, given the critical service that you offer?
Thank you so much, Linda. Indeed, we have a very good relationship with the municipality. We did communicate with them. What happened with this power station, there was a cable fault which they struggled to find and sort the problem out. The arrangement that we have with the municipality is that during load shedding, scheduled load shedding, the hospital is not load shedded, which is something that we really appreciate from the Springs municipality, which falls in Ekurhuleni. And I think, Linda, maybe it's important for me to mention that this is an arrangement that I think it may work for all the facilities across the province. It will be very good that Eskom, we know that due to pressures that they are facing, they have to do the load shedding. But the critical institutions, such as hospitals, I think I will really plead that they must be spared and they are not load shedded, because if you load shed a hospital, we are risking losing a life, because you depend on a generator kicking in. Now, if you make it even longer, like in our situation here, you are risking the lives of people that we are saving. Thank you.
You spoke about running out of diesel at that particular time. Talk to us about some of the critical services that were going on in the hospital. This generator that we're standing next to, you say is supplying your ICUs and other critical wards of the hospital.
Mm-hmm.
Did you even lose a life?
Thank you so much, Linda. I think we're very lucky that we didn't lose a life. I can state that our ICU was full. We had patients in casualty, but of critical importance were the patient that we had in theater that was being operated when the power went off. But luckily enough, we didn't lose any life. But it is indeed, it emphasizes the importance of hospitals being spared. But in our situation here, as I said earlier, we have an arrangement with municipality. We are not being load-shedded as Viceroy under scheduled load shedding. But in this case, we are affected because there was a fault of the power station itself.
All right, there you have it. That's Sonwabo Lindane Koli, the CEO of the Far Eastern Regional Hospital, talking to us about, how they were affected on a Saturday, which gives you an indication of how these critical facilities are affected by the ongoing power cuts, even beyond the agreements that they have. He says that at that particular time when the power went off and they ran out of diesel, they had a patient that was undergoing a critical operation in theater, which tells you the dangers of having these, power cuts. He says, despite the fact that they have an arrangement with the municipality, but they still were affected, given, of course, the issues surrounding the cables that he speaks about. Oli?
Mnisi, thank you very much for that live update. Very, very critical situation there at the hospitals. It just gives you a sense of what goes on when the power does indeed go out.